secured to provide medical insurance cover for staff of Nandi County from the financial year 2017-2018 to date. 2. Outline the specific criteria employed in the procurement process for the current medical insurance service provider, explaining why Amana Insurance received designated insurance provider. 3. Present the medical insurance policy documents from Nandi County Executive staff, highlighting details such as the total number of staff covered, their dependents, and the scope of benefits covering inpatient, outpatient, dental, and optical services, listing the health facilities and medical professionals, such as doctors in the panel, associated with the insurance service provider. 4. Clarify whether there are any supplementary medical insurance covers for all county staff beyond the services provided by the National Insurance Health Fund. And 5. Disclose the cumulative compensation disbursed for medical insurance cover from the fiscal year 2017-2018 to date, giving a breakdown detailing variations observed in each fiscal year. So I think under that statement, those are what was sought, which will allow you, Governor, to make your presentations on that. Can somebody share the folders with Senator Ledama? I hope you have the copy of the responses. Let's everybody has so that answers to follow. Governor.
Thank you, Chair. Would I be allowed at this point to documents as I give the response?
Yeah, just on a point of order. I don't know whether we changed from the process of taking oath in terms of such statements, given the weight of the statement requested. Normally, when a witness is giving information, we have to do it under oath. And then the documents are also tabled immediately after. So I would request that legal provide the instruments of oath, and then we can deal with that issue at the moment. Legal.
Senator Obama, we had a consultation with our council here on that matter, and on his advisory, he said since this was a statement and not an inquiry, we may not necessarily have to do oath. But if in the process of submission the committee feels that the submissions or the responses we are getting may warrant that, then at that point we can ask that they can take the oath.
Chair, maybe we can take it back a little bit. I think some of these issues have been cited by the Auditor General. So it is important that the statement given. So I think this recommendation.
Yes, yes,
and statutory act. The governor needs to table the documentation. So if you don't take oath, I don't know. And you know these are quasi-judicial mechanisms. So even if you extrapolate the reading of the Constitution, they must table to allow to table documentation. Because, Chair, you have to note, just for the records of the committee, I wish Michelle would wait. Maybe, Otoro, if you can wait kidogo for Chair to listen. We have postponed these three, I think 4 engagements for various reasons. And the documentation or the responses that the governor has sent over time keep changing daily. So how sure are we if we allow a governor to read the response, then you say before we write a report to table, might have changed the documentation? Because, Chair, you have to note on various occasions I've been receiving.
Okay, Senator, I think so that we save on time. Okay. Let me make a ruling. The governor is here. There is nothing. He has taken several oaths, so I don't think there's. So maybe so that we make progress, because we are going to engage on this and we lose on this. So legal counsel.
Contract sum is 18.
Just on a point of order, could you point us to where you are reading so I can follow through on what you're reading?
Get
This one, yeah?
yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
2017-2018 resolution insurance company 18 million.
Let's switch off your mic so that we can hear the
18,535,290. The number of staff covered was 74. Main member plus 5. The comments is that the renewal of the contract enhanced executive and senior management for the executive arm. For the financial year 2019-2020, again resolution insurance company limited for a cost of 12,362,307, and the number of staff covered is 80 M plus 5. And the comment there, Chair, is that this new contract for executive and senior management for the executive arm. In 2021-2022, Amana Insurance Brokers, sum of 195,443,603.40. The number of staff is 4,310 plus 5. the medical cover for all county staff as per the SRC guidelines. 2023-2024, Amana Insurance Brokers at a cost of 138,909,877.91 cents. For the number of staff, 4,943 M+5. The renewal, and this is a renewal of medical cover for all county staff as per the SRC guidelines. Outline the second question. Outline the specific criteria employed in the procurement process for the current medical insurance provider, explaining why Amana Insurance received a payment of 195 million despite Britam Company being the designated insurance provider. The response, Chair, to the first part is that the insurance service providers were sourced through open tender as per Section 96 of the Public Procurement and Disposal Act and Regulation 85 of 2020. The regulation criteria used by the evaluation committee were the preliminary requirements outlined in the bid documents. Once the bidders had met all the preliminary and technical requirements, the lowest priced bid was recommended for award. Refer to the copies of the bids, of the bid documents and evaluation criteria provided in the set of documents. To the second part of the question, the bid document under tender number NDCG stroke OT stroke FEP stroke 01 2021 to 2022, in which Amana Insurance Brokers were the successful bidders, had a joint bid with Britam Insurance as the underwriters. This explains why the insurance service provider is Britam Insurance as an underwriter, but the payments were made to the successful bidder, who is Amana Insurance Brokers. The tender was open to registered medical insurance brokers. The third question, present the medical insurance policy documents for Nandi County Executive, highlighting details such as the total number of staff covered, their dependents, the scope of benefits covered, covering the inpatient, outpatient, dental, optical services, listing the health facilities and medical professionals, such as the doctors in the panel associated with the insurance service provider. The response, Chair, is that the copies of the policy documents, the contracts, and all the details are as the documents tabled, and we have they are part of the documents we have just tabled. The fourth question, Chair.
Yes, Another Lady.
I would have thought that for us to be able to make sense of what is being provided to us, we would be able to interrogate question by question, particularly the last questions, when the governor say copies of policy. When we move to the next query, I think
what we shall do, let's allow the governor to finalize. We can then go back to each question and see the attachments. So if you have specific questions, the documents, we can then pick the specific documents to refer to, since we have already moved in that direction. Governor, proceed.
Number 4, whether there is any supplementary medical insurance covers for all county staff beyond the services provided by the National National Hospital Insurance Fund. NHIF is as detailed in the table above. So it is this particular medical from the 2018 date, giving recommendations of the response, Chair, is that the information relating to the compensation stroke claims for beneficiaries of the medical cover information domiciled with the insurance. We subsequently wrote to them for them to provide the indicated that they are unable to provide or share members' cover and utilization due to Data Protection Act of 2019. All copies of bid documents, copies of related procurement documents, all hereby presented in this response, and that is
Thank you. My name is Senator Okenyuri Esther. I'm a member of this committee.
Thank you. Honorable members, we have read the responses. We have had the presentations of the government for the purposes of so that we can make progress. We can quickly move to the question number 1 and the responses. If you have any issues on the references you would want to raise or seek clarification.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Governor, welcome. You're a veteran here and a former senator. Now, I've looked at these responses to the first query, and I note that you're using a financial year. Was insurance being provided as a financial cover for the financial year, or is it a calendar year? Question number 1. Question number 2, I note that in 2017-2018, the figure per family was 250,476,892 shillings. But the same company resolution with 80 members, the figure went down by 100,000 shillings to 154,528. Could you explain to this committee why is it that the figure came down in the next year, or whether the first year it was not really negotiated well? Number 2, you maintain the same company resolution, whether it was a credit you're being given. Number 3, most importantly for me to understand, is whether, because if it is a financial year, then I will ask, where is 2018-2019? Because here you only have 2017-2018, and then you move to 2019-2020. Then you go to 2021-2022. Then you go to 2023-2024. But we don't have 2018-2019. And then 2019, then we now have 2019-2020. So that's why I need to understand that discrepancy there. If you can explain that, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Governor.
Chair, let me request the head of procurement to respond to that.
Chair, question whether they are for calendar years. Is that the same was on financial years based on the approved budgets. I think that is as represent. Was done completely, and therefore the act of the incomes as presented by successful in the 1920 tender that was floated. It is also important to note that because that is continuous, there are some specific years where one financial year overlapped to the other in the provision of the insurance medical cover. Thank you, Chair.
Now, Mr. Chairman, Governor, if that's the case, indicated the financial year 18-19. We are dealing with the figures for and then 22-23.
Okay, thank you, Chair. In the file submitted, there is a particular file. That is the one that is the first on the screen. That was continuous from 17-18.
Just hold on, Chair. The answers are given by the governor, and we follow them chronologically. If you want us to go on a fishing expedition, then take us to it. I'm only seeing 17-18. Just tell it, because you did not give the governor to read what was 18-19. Because I want to understand how these figures came down drastically. Because, I mean, it's very good, and I would actually say congratulations for dropping down by over 6 million shillings. But we don't see 18-19. So can you give us that information?
Senator Ndama and Governor. I can see you have a document, but maybe do you have a like 2017, 2018, you've given us 18 million, you've given us a number of staff. Do you have the summary of 2018, 19 in that manner? And also,
We have to go look for
the other area that is missing is 2020, 2021.
Summary captioned by His Excellency the Governor is the summary of the documents. We have the additional information that as requested to provide is that clear that the summary overlapped. And the first one that I'm indicating to you is that on this file, as indicated 18-19, this was continuation from 17. Information.
That's
Senator, for your mic, Senator Ledam.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think the statement had interrogated the issue of procurement and the procurement process. My first question to the Governor is you've submitted documents to the committee. Prior to submitting these documents, did you have an opportunity to peruse through the documents? And maybe you could also tell the committee who in your team prepared the documents for submission to the committee.
Since I was still interrogating the other question, this question has not been answered because even the documents that the gentleman through the governor is having us go through to fish for information is really just a printout from the website of the resolution insurance that gives their offices, their doctors, the list of doctors.
I will come into that.
Oh, you come into this? Okay.
Yeah, the document is prepared by the procurement department, which is the custodian of this information. Yeah.
Last question was, did you have an opportunity to peruse the documents before they were submitted to the committee?
Yes, Chair, we did. I did.
Thank you, Chair. The question that follows. In his response, the governor has given the the different companies that provided insurance from 2017 to 2024. In the submission, for the only document I see which has the complete process of procurement is the money insurance brokers for the year 2021-2022. From the advert to the evaluation process and all that. My question to the governor and his team: why was no similar information given for all the procurement process that was done from 2017 to 2024, so that we can properly interrogate the procurement process that was undertaken for providing health insurance to the county? Also, sorry. Finally, resolution 1919, the committee enhanced medical service provider list. Could you explain why he filled the whole file with this information?
Governor, although we are not with that, there was an issue of not providing information because of data protection. So I don't know how it sits with also this one. So maybe we can respond.
Chair, let me come in also. The same query asked by Senator Ladama, because this is when you are saying in financial years 2017, 2016, and procurement there are many claims years, but I prove him wrong. Letter of notification for renewal to which one? To resolution, which is the contracts expire on 6th of October 2018. The renewal should commence on 27th of October 2018 to October 26th of October 2019. So the question he answered is I don't agree with him, because this is not financial year what they are doing. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, if you allow me.
Yes,
and I would hope that these questions directly, because he's the one who has taken oath. He can be assisted and they can whisper to him, but he is the one who should answer the question. Now, has been provided here that a lot of it is documents, is contract for the 5. But it's actually first of all 20. So that it will it is? The information here you've given is wrong, because the financial year starts in July 1st. So if it is July 1st, 2017, then these figures here that they have been you're giving government are wrong.
Before Governor comes in, I think honorable members, the response from procurement, one Senator Ladama, and the switch of your mic, is that, and I think so that we keep remembering what was said initially, is that financial year, you must provide resources, but the contracts transcend 2 financial years. I'm not explaining on behalf of them, but just following from what they said. You can issue an insurance contract within financial year 2017-2018, and probably that contract is starting somewhere in October. 2019 in October. But most importantly, the resources have to be budgeted every financial year. Because of the lapse of the financial year, in the subsequent financial year, you must budget in resources for medical cover. So I think, please, so that as you respond, give us clarity on where the contracts start. It will start in this financial year and ends in the middle of another financial year, so that there is clarity and flow. I think that is what is missing, and you are not helping us to get clarity on what Senator Ledema is asking.
Chair, in accounting, if you allow me, because I think I know a thing, in accounting, insurance in financial years is done on a pro rata basis. And it's fine. I can understand the fact that it covers 2 financial years. What I don't understand is that this contract, which they have attached here, is dated 1st of October 2018. What the governor has provided here for 2017-2018 is this figure of 18,535,290. There is absolutely no way that you can then have a new contract in October. You would then have an amended contract to be able to cover the 2 financial year, if that's the case. So that's why I'm finding a disconnect. Procurement need to provide the governor with proper information. You know, because I understand, Governor, you may not be the one putting this paperwork together, but they need to tell you from 2017-2018, where is the contract? Then if this new contract is drafted without considering the previous contract, then we will be able to have the 2 contracts to see that this one lapsed and the other one also took over. That's a disconnect.
Chair, maybe it is the governor can be I suspect in there was no insurance cover. You know, Governor presumed that senators are not very keen people, and therefore you omitted 1920. Because Senator. Of that. As Governor, Chair, we are discussing something that is over 300 total, exception of 2019. So my concern is, in 1920, Governor, was there an insurance cover or not? Number 2, on the issue of Amana and Britain, who was the underwriter and how much was being paid? Done within a certain financial year, you do it through supplementary budget. And even when you state your financial statements, Governor, for 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, it must be disclosed in your financial statement. So my question is, did you renew the cover to Amana Insurance Brokers for the financial year 2023-2024? Give us requisition from the department, the procurement procedure, because in some of the information, and it is the gentleman of head of procurement issued a professional opinion before completion of evaluation minutes in the entire process. So was this renewal done within the Public Procurement and Disposal Act? My fourth question, Chairman, so that I don't need to come back, is you provided, Governor, that in your cover of staff and in 2019, 2020, 2017, 2020, it was 7480, which means they were covering a few number of staff. Other staff would go and identify themselves to be given provision. In 2021, 2022, 2022, 2023, 2024, it is 4,310, it is M plus 5. In the following year, it's 4,943 M plus 5. Does it mean, because we know M is the employee and the rest of the spouse, and then the rest may be for, that covers the issue of dependence. So my question is, on these aspects of this cover, does it being paid premium per head, or is it just a total cover? Because there are people who work in county government of Nandi, either they are spinsters, they have one child, they are not married, they are single. The interpretation that when you gave the cover, what did it mean on that? And finally, Chair, I had asked about if a man insurance were brokers and the underwriter was Britain, how much was paid to Britain? Of course, we have seen the insurance policy, and we might end up, Chair, to invite other stakeholders. And finally, Chair, when was this contract renewal done for Amana insurance brokers between 2021, 2022 and 2023, 2024? Because, Chair, finally, because you, when you say that NHIF, does it mean all your staff of, because I'm using the recent information you gave yesterday, 4,943 workers, does it mean none of them? Because in your response you have indicated that it is not covered by NHIF. I don't know, it's called SHIF nowadays, that it is not covered. Is it all the staff are covered by the Amana Insurance Company, which is the underwriter is Britain? I thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Senator. I think you have also gone ahead to ask questions for question number 2, 3. So that we make progress on question number 1, maybe allow Governor to make his responses, then we can make a ruling on how to proceed on that question.
Chair, I think with regard to question 1, those, the gaps that exist, we can be able, if you can give us, some time to be able to give clarity with regard to those details, because I think, as you pointed out, there needs to be information that flow on that, which unfortunately that doesn't come out of the picture as it is. But with regard to the underwriter, yes, it's Britain.
I think so that we move to the next Governor. Before we move to that, so on question 1, it's suffice to say that that question has not been adequately responded. You need to go and work on the documentation, and in a manner that I think the documentation for 2021-2022 was well done. I mean, it has all the information for quick and ease of reference. If then in every of those financial year contracts, you can provide in this manner. I think that will also be very important. Number 2 that I want you to take note, Governor, is in the financial year 2021-2022, your number of staff was 4,310. We don't have data for 2022-2023 financial year, but the data for 2023-2024 financial year is 4,943. So there is an increase of about 633 additional staff. So I think when you sequence all the financial years, then that would also be we leave you out once. To the second question, and I think those are the questions Senator Cherargei has asked.
I think the question was the governor should tell us whether there was an insurance before moving, because even if it was not there, where will you go and get information? Further clarity, and I think there are still some questions on question number 1 by Mr. Leda. Maybe you can.
I think the questions on question number 1, Senator Cherargei, we have ruled that they don't have adequate information. In their subsequent submission, they can then provide all the information. Can we move to question number 2, Governor?
Yeah, with regard to question number 2, yeah, it's the criteria for procurement was open tender. The Amana Insurance was the broker, the underwriter is Britain, and therefore the payment was done to Amana Insurance because it was the successful bidder. Yeah.
Now, Senator Cherargei, maybe you can re-ask your questions for that so that government can clarify, can answer.
Chair, I think governor is being economical with the truth, because how much was being paid? You need so that your answer becomes complete, so that we don't need to further. Number 1, both insurance, you said Amana was the broker. How much was it paid? Then when it comes to Britam, how much was it paid? Because they are not providing a free service. They must charge for their services so that they provide the premium. And I think Chair has asked a very simple question. Why did the number of employees rise up from 4310 to 4943? That is the question I repeat. Number 3, Chair, was on the requisition from the department. How was the renewal done between Amana and Makiu? Chair, I want to bring to the attention of members. In the financial year 2021-2022, Governor, you know you need also to be due diligent, even through your procurement, and I'm disappointed you came with that of procurement who messed you last time. It looks like you have fun in walking around with them. Because in 2021-2022, the auditor report of that financial year queried Amana Insurance brokers. So even if you are to award, if you are to use meritocracy, Amana Insurance would not have gotten the cover for next financial year, because it has been questioned again by the Auditor General. So it means there was no due diligence by your officers to ensure. So what justification would you extend or renew the contract for Amana Insurance, yet the Auditor General had queried the performance of this insurance? That should have been on the basis for you not to extend or give further insurance. So number 3, number 4, and finally, is on the cover. You know, I think in Parliament we are given M+4. So do you pay individual premium per, because M the employee and then 5 maybe the spouse and maybe 3 children? That explains fine. Or people who are barren, but in my place there are no barren people, Senator Haji, unless there is a, maybe you'll tell us. Sorry, Chair, you know he's the one speaker interrupting me. So the cover of M+5, and finally, Chair, so that you said I repeat for on that question, number 2, is the entire procurement process from departmental requisition. Because the Public Procurement Act through the Chair and the County Government Act is very clear. You must get the requisition from the line Department of Health Services and Sanitation. So where is that requisition? Then you start to the tender, the open tender and the entire process. If the governor can answer those 3 questions in question number 3, then it will be.
Governor.
Chair, let me respond to the first question with regard to the increase in staff. Of course, when we did the renewal on the basis of the staff that we had then. And you can see from 2017 all the way, we have always, endeavored to include any other staff who have joined in. And therefore that explains the increase in the numbers. In terms of the underwriter is Britam, the insurance broker is Amana, and it is the Amana that was paid because that was the successful bidder. With regard to...
Just be specific through the chair, just say how much you paid.
Is the contract sum 195 as indicated, the 195,443. That is the contract sum that was paid for the insurance.
Yes, Chair, with your permission, can you take me to documents?
Senator Commissioner Omogen. Yes. When you say through the chair and then you go straight to speak, then have you really gone through the chair or you have just decided to go straight? Well, I will allow the governor to give your response, but I think, Governor, so that we have clarification, Cherargei's question.
Chair, I have a question.
Yes, to Amana insurance brokers, and how much was paid to Britam. You need to answer that so that we finish with that, because I think there is a missing part of the answer for that.
It's the broker who was paid. What the broker paid Britam as their underwriter is not within our purview.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Chair.
Now, what was paid to the broker?
Your permission, yes?
Just a minute. Senator Cherargei, please pay attention. The governor has said very clearly the contract sum is 195 and whatever figure million, and it was the contract sum paid to Amana insurance brokers. What is paid to Britain is the business of the broker. And there's nothing, Britain has no contract with the county government of Nandi. If that is what the response.
Maybe the governor...
Now you cannot speak. Please, Senator Cherargei, hold your horses. Senator Omogen.
Chair, serious inquiry. I believe on behalf of the people of Nandi, we want Governor, you made an advert for bids, okay? What were the terms in that bid? I'm sure you wanted a broker. You're one of those young governors, so we're happy when you see youthful governors succeeding. But when you come here and you tell us you paid Amana insurance brokers, and it's none of your business what they paid to the insurance company. That's where you raise a red flag for me. Somebody like me was served as the chair of EACC, because the devil is always in the detail. So you will always know that this is the much that goes to either two things. Maybe you pay the insurance direct, and then they remit their commission to Amana insurance brokers. What we'd be interested to know is, out of the 195 million that you paid for premium, what commission went to Amana insurance brokers, and what was remitted to the insurance company to cover the staff? And I thought if you pointed out the documents, the tender documents and the contract of insurance that you entered, that detail should be somewhere. And I don't think, Chairman, I don't think we are being unreasonable. We are being very fair, very reasonable. We want information, we want to be given comfort that the money that was paid to the brokers went to the insurance company, so that the staff of Nandi County are
covered. Because as you know, if the insurance brokers receive the money, they don't remit, your staff are exposed. So we need to get that information so that this matter is settled. So if you can, through your guidance, Chair, you can order we be shown those documents and then we be given the premium. You know what is important? The premium, the money that you remit to the insurance company is what covers members of staff. If you don't, there have been instances where the brokers keep the money and your staff will go to hospital and they will be told the premiums are not paid, so you are not covered. If you don't do that, Chair, it will be very unfair to the people of Nandi County.
Just take note of that, Senator Watout, and then we go to Senator Chimera.
So thank you, Chair. I think my question is related to, in a way, to what Senator Morgan is raising. I'm just wondering, the governor from Nandi should be able to make any saving possible. So I'm just wondering, Chair, why they decided to open this particular tender to brokers and not insurance companies. And why I ask that is because, of course, a broker will be more expensive because they have a commission that they are going to charge. So why was it opened to brokers and not just to insurance companies who, of course, would have charged much less, though the tendering process, of course, was done? Because, Chair, the other thing, Chair, is this Britam that was an underwriter, did it apply? Because then, if it applied, then an offer that was better. For the premium and a commission, and not insurance companies that would
among insurance brokers. I want to assume so. That is before us. And to try and imagine there could be another contract between the county committee chair, as it is. What we've requested has been provided, and I don't know why so hell-bent on asking the question, what really happens after the county government has paid the broker. To my other issue, Chair, I'm seeing the resolution previously actually serving service provider to now a broker. Thank you, Chair.
Bid document, the company that bid for jointly with the underwriter, and the bid document we have here shows, for instance, the Amana bid have presented jointly with Britam. Working with underwriters, of course, is to give a wider for better negotiations. So that explains the aspect of why maybe with your permission, Chair, is information that His Excellency the Governor can seek from there.
this renewal of 2020 in his response, I said this was a joint bid between Amana Insurance and Britain. But Chair, can the governor answer on the renewal? Because the reason it's saying, the head of procurement is saying to, through the governor that they were better negotiation. And give us why, what is the reason? And I have given, Chair, let me just repeat for record. The Auditor General in 2021-2022 queried the due diligence and performance of Amana Insurance Brokers. My question to the governor, which other justifiable reason did you renew contract to Amana Insurance Brokers? Because the Auditor General is as established under the law, is the one that realized that there was no due diligence in terms of awarding. So which other justification, apart from the obvious reason that we might suspect, that gave you opportunity to renew to Amana Insurance Brokers, yet let me use this word, Chair, the OAG through you, Chair, had indicted Amana Insurance because of so many reasons. Because, Chair, in conclusion,
Cherargei, as you conclude.
Yes.
Because you are introducing information that is not available in this committee,
yes,
of the Auditor General.
Yes.
Can you provide that information?
To you, Senator Ledama, OAG report is a public document. Anybody who says I'm not introducing, what you should be telling me is to
Senator Cherargei, you know this Auditor Committee, all of us don't sit in CPAC and think. It will be more useful to this committee, okay, so that none. Please share with us so that we know what you are. You know, it's only Ledama and you who sit that. Chimera doesn't sit. I also don't sit there. I think it's good because, you know, we are trying to answer. If you have, yes, you can share with us.
Chair, I can table. I think the best way to gather from the county government, because I believe what Senator Cherargei is doing is a public domain. The Auditor General report has been tabled. Yes. By the time we are reading it, it has been tabled on the floor of the House.
Of the House.
The Auditor General report has also been tabled in the Assembly and the Executive.
Yes.
So this is information that all of us have.
Yes.
But if you insist that we table, I'm happy to table the document that I have here, which is the Auditor General report. Senator Cherargei is attempting to assist, gather information on what is happening. We were able, in the first query, we are also identifying similar gaps in the second. Some time with your procurement people to really go through the queries that have been asked. Mr. Chairman, is that this 74 executive staff or this 80, because in 2019-20 they went to 80, but we don't know what they were in 2018-2019. So I think you might. It is not chronological. You've not put it together. So I think you may need to take some time and put it together and say, you know, the other question which the auditors queried is this issue of the company called Amana Insurance Brokers. and then you'll understand. But my advice would be, because of the seriousness in this matter, and I don't think the governor has been briefed enough by his team. Me, I would propose that we give this governor an opportunity
Sorry, Mr. Speaker. Through the chair, I just wondered, you know, I was just giving additional information by saying the integrity of this broker had been questioned. So what was the justification? If governor can give us that. But you know, I would be through chair to have governor come. It's been postponed for various reasons more than 5 times. But I think we proceed. Then if the committee feels that the other stakeholders and other people might be invited, and understand very well, he's a one-man show. So if he's not briefed, he is not accessible to be briefed by his own staff.
Substance, then you derail all of us. Senator AJAABU.
Thank you, Chair. Further information. But to that, understand from the procurement team of Nandi County, what do they understand by a joint bid? And they have provided, they've already tabled documents of the tender process that went through, and we don't from even the bid security register that Amana had a joint bid with Britam. So how are we to understand how the joint bid was done and during the tendering process, Chair?
Senator.
Thank you, Chair. I'm looking at the Amana Insurance. The opening, I think it's not paginated, but the tenders were opened as gave an offer of 166 million. I don't know what page that is. It's not paginated.
It is page 3 or somewhere.
Yeah, from the back, like page 10 from the back. No. Yes. Well, there is Trident Insurance Company Limited. The offer was 166 million. Paladin 197. In his response, that once his response on the lowest priced bid was recommended for award.
Senator, it's for financial year 2023-2024.
Sorry, yeah.
Yes.
Paladin was dropped because it quoted 197 that had offered 166 million, Chair. That is one. Number 2, Chair, I think is a recommendation. If you find it befitting, why don't we summon both Amana and Britam? The money, the governor does not know. And the employee is both Amana and Britam here to come and provide that information in broad daylight.
Senator Nyoto. Before I allow Governor to make and Senator Ladama, who are members of either PIC or PAC, of 30th June 2022. And Senator Cherargei, you said Amana was indicted. I think the question in the Auditor General, is, we are a house of record, and it's important. Straight. The critical question, which is actually the most important question that you should have asked, is in regard to insurance, is that a professional opinion, and by the Director of Procurement, you better listen to this carefully. A professional opinion by the head of procurement function was issued on 14th October 2020. Was done on 28th October 2021, 14 days after the professional opinion. You gave a professional opinion before an evaluation was done. That the insurance broker, neither Britam or Amana, had been in because we are making reference to a legal document. The other issues that were raised was letters appointing the tender opening committee members of the committee. Provided for audit. So I think so that we also don't publicly give information relating to companies that we question down that professional opinion, but let me now allow Governor to respond. Senator Commissioner Omogeni, will allow Governor?
Yeah. I don't come from Nandi. Basically, public interest to protect members of the public. I have no interest. In fact, Senator, to improve governance where we can, where we have of the life issues before us. And the contract that you signed simply talked of an initial period of 12 months. There was no, I've not seen any clause giving you an option to renew. Together there? Because the initial period is 12 months, there is no clause for renewal. That's the one of 2021. So which clause? This is public money. We are talking about 119 million shillings paid. If this money was paid to that is paid to a broker, neither you, Governor, nor any can even give us the slightest of an idea of how much went to the insurance company, because the says that Amana will provide you with medical cover, then some to the insurance company. To just do a report on this matter. you can't tell us, as governor of Nandi, to the insurance company.
Specifically on the issue of what was paid, what we can consider for the service, it's clear what kind of service we were supposed to get, and we have indicated to you that if the committee directs that we get that information from the insurance broker, we can get what we got ourselves and negotiated, because we were giving out a tender for medical insurance. We were categorical on what services each of the members covered was getting, and that now that you insist that that is given, we can be able to follow it up with the broker and get the information.
Sure. That information. Yes, the committee. If you don't have it, we can't kill you and say you must. We can get time, but if you supply it to us, we'll be happy. The second issue, the contract did not give you an option to renew, but you seem to have renewed. So are you not in clear breach?
Perhaps, Chair, perhaps with your kind permission, before Governor replies to that question, I also want to know, because the contract here says there was a request that was put forth for this renewal. I'm just trying to wonder, that request came from whom? Is it the county government or the contractor? Because specifically I'm saying it says the contractor has actually placed a renewal request. So I just, this whole renewal issue, why didn't the county opt to go for retendering as opposed to a direct renewal request by a contractor in the first place, not even yourselves making the request?
Governor. About the renewal, the information, sorry. So we are guided by a couple of things in terms of the process. One, the request of course came from the user department. We have that documentation on the 2020, and subsequently on procurement of services, beyond the procurement law, we also have the manual which we borrowed heavily from the national government, that evaluation, procurement of services can be renewed, and it is on that basis that we went and proceeded, of course, by the guiding principles of value for money based on availability of budget in that fiscal year. So I think that explains the process of the renewal. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, that question has not been answered satisfactorily. I think maybe we can allow, Governor, you are a lawyer, and one I really admire and have much respect for. You also have a very competent team of lawyers, and Chair, for purposes of much disclosure, I come from Nandi as well, so I know this team very well. Maybe perhaps this was a fixed contract, very fixed. After 12 months, it is over. Functus official, done and done with. How then, what is the legal basis for you renewing a contract? And don't say from the end user. Let's now stick to the documentation as provided and the law, because this is a for renewing it the way and the manner you've renewed it.
Prior to Senator Jemera, just an information, right on Jemera. Senator Aji, so that I don't lose. Okay.
Well, just in addition to what Jemera has raised and what the Senior Council has raised on the contract signed between the county government and Amana. I'm looking at clause 9.4, no partnership, etc. If I could read, Chair, if I may read. Nothing in this agreement shall constitute or be deemed to constitute a partnership, agency or joint venture between the parties hereto or constitute to be deemed to constitute either party the agent of the other for any purpose whatsoever, and neither party shall have any authority or power to bind the other or to contract in the name or create a liability against the other. So, Chair, having that in the contract and taking the submission by the governor on his responses that Britain and Amana were joint bidders, while they're answering the question by Chimera and Senior Counsel, could also the legal person of the party clarify this clause in the agreement?
Thank you. Now, I will allow you 1 minute to add.
Correct.
I think there is a Solicitor General. Of course, you are lucky you are governor and lawyer. You know it. I think you'll get away, but it is good you came. Okay, please, 1 minute.
And he should be lucky that the order of the county attorney act that gave him the job. Just to write on Senator Chimera, Chair, on this issue of contract renewal agreement. Governor, just simple illustration. When you look at, I thought renewal of a service should be character. You look in, we are discussing in totality over 370 million in a span of almost 5 years. When you look at 2021, Amana, you awarded it under 195 million with 4,310 M plus 5. Then the renewal was 138,909, 4,943 staff. In all instances and purposes by Senator Chimera and the Senior Counsel, the contract has changed its character and face. So how do you negotiate with the same terms, yet the figures and the character of terms and conditions of contract has changed? Just to add on what Senator Chimera has asked about the requisition from the user, I thank you, Chair.
Governor, I think I'll make a ruling after that. Resources. We have competing interests. You struggle to create a budget, and you can see from 2017 initially. But every financial year you have financial constraints. In this particular one, we had a huge financial constraint we needed, and therefore in the renewal process, we were able to indicate this is the amount of resources that we service provider, and agreed on the figure and worked on the figure that we had. So really it is also based on the availability of resources that we had. Senator Chimera, there was
Sure.
Maybe information. Yeah, there was one other question that had been asked about treatment. There was a question that had been asked about that was John Ruto about one service provider. Or the notification, there are details why they were not successful. So it's not just about the bid, and we indicated in our response that really you give the lowest bidder after those who have met all the requirements. Trident were not able to do that. The section of the contract was read in relation to the joint bid. The understanding from our
our team here on that non-partnership is that there was no partnership between us and the fact that we have just given them the contract. But for them as insurance brokers, definitely they have to work with an underwriter and the documents.
Chair. Properly, the clause I read, it says also, whatsoever, either party, the agent of the other for any purpose whatsoever, and neither party and the other or to contract in the name of or liability against the other. That already locks out Britain. I don't know, senior counsel.
Thank you very much. Better next, because I've not had the governor respond to the issue. This was a closed contract. Any lawyer will tell you. Renewal. You know what you're telling us about the performance. That can happen if the contract. But the contract you have here is strictly for 1 year. The period of the contract could have read 2 years, initial 1 year, subject to based on performance. Okay? So I was not in a contract like this, I could have sent a few notes. you get it. So, and then the issue that has been raised by Senator Haj, you know, these issues, Governor, don't draft your contracts properly. You will expose the staff whom you intend to cover. You have good intentions, but if you don't do your contracts well, then you are exposing your staff. You know, clause 2 says the contractor, it doesn't say that the contractor will source for a reputable insurance company to provide services. It says the contractor agrees to provide the medical insurance cover for county government. That is clause 2.1, Governor. So I don't know how you call them Britain? Underwriters. You know, I've tried to keenly, because me I don't want to talk out of ignorance. I want us to have an engagement with the contract before us. I've read through. I've not seen anywhere where the contract mentions a third party company providing services. The chair, we have had governor, but I think it's not fair to make some decisions in his presence. We need to repeat and look at his matter, and then we can do a report that highlights issues, and we make proposals on the way forward.
Honorable members and Governor, looking at the issues, the questions that have been raised, and the responses that we have gotten, and in view of what Senator Mugeni is proposing, Senator Mugeni, you know, before we retreat to our report, it is extremely very important that we give a chance to the county to make and get even from the service providers. So I think to be to the county, and also making sure that we also finally as a community make a report that will be able to help counties. Governor, even looking at sometimes it becomes room for people speculating, and I don't want to allow the documents are not even paginated. You know, the quality of documentation may not be helpful to this committee and yourself if the committee is to retreat and make decisions. We we shall allow you time. We feel that this question, this statement has not been satisfactorily responded to, so that you can go and reorganize your documents, get the necessary additional documentation. And what we shall do to help you is I will sit with my committee and clarify matters so that we write to you very specific, so that we are able to so that we can be able to deal with this. Now we are at statement number 2 on the status of health facilities in Nandi County. I want to make a ruling that because